Hello and welcome back to the Timson podcast. I'm
Welcome
Tim,
back.
and I'm joined here by my good friend Tom. And today we're
Hi.
going to be talking about three new projects. It's another big week. We're going to be talking about Bandana by MaddGibbs, followed by Case Study 1 by Daniel Caesar, followed
And
by
the best of them all.
the best of them all,
The masterpiece.
pièce de résistance 6 and Desist by Blarf,
This is a
which has
generational
come
album.
out. It's come out of nowhere. It's come out of absolute nowhere. And without further ado, we're also going to be talking about Dominic Fike's new single, produced by Kenny Beats, Phone Numbers. So, MaddGibbs, it's Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Bandana.
They're back.
Yeah, they're back. Following, other projects from the two of them, but particularly Freddie Gibbs, with this new project,
I
Bandana.
don't know. Madlib's not been that prolific since that came out.
But Freddie Gibbs certainly has. Dropping, what were they? Mixtape.
Shadow of a Doubt. We had
Only Live Twice. Freddie, a commercial mixtape. We had a lot.
Fetty, which we reviewed.
Yes, yeah, he's been busy. But so to get us started, it is a great pleasure that I say that this much anticipated collaboration between the two does deliver. And if you recall from a few episodes ago, I did make a bold claim that this was going to be better than Pinata. And I do stand by that claim. Now, what do you have to say to that, Tom?
I do not agree. However, I do like this very much.
Now, I find that it's better than Pinata. Well, firstly, because I'm able to listen to the whole thing. I find it easier to listen to and more pleasurable to listen to. I think that the beats are more easier to listen to and more pleasurable, as well as it being kind of tied together a bit better. I really like this text-to-speech Japanese voice that they have. This kind of absurd character who kind of guides you through the whole project from Obrigado to the very end. It's very funny. It's very goofy. I don't know if it is probably a tiny bit offensive, but this is just a text-to-speech voice that they've found, which is just sounds really goofy, saying all the things that they make it say.
And also, very quick, Madlib said that he produced all the beats on his iPad.
Now that I don't really know what to say about that, because I think that the beats are better on here than they were on Pinata.
I don't know how you can say that, but I mean, which songs really make you say, you know what, this is better than Pinata? This is better than Shitsville. This is better than Rogues.
Stands out. Even there's several really good beat switches. There's one on Half Main, Half Cocaine, which is the only one that I didn't really like. I don't like the first half of that song, but when it switches,
I was gonna say,
I really like that.
I was gonna say the second half of that song's amazing.
Yeah, the first half isn't that good, but the second half is amazing. Fake Names as well. There's another beat switch. There's a beat switch halfway through that. There's another great beat switch at the end of Crime Pays, where it goes into this kind of trip hoppy thing.
And Flat Tummy Tea, of course.
Yeah, although I really haven't been listening to many of the singles which dropped. I've been kind of really enjoying the deeper cuts, like Palm Olive and Cataracts specifically. Those are the ones which really stand out to me, as well as Situations. I think it's just so many great hooks on here, you know? And there's these really nice jazzy flavors. All the beats are very bombastic. It's very great. And it starts off strong as well with freestyle, you know?
Can I just say, before we get into anything, that I'm really glad that we didn't do it on our usual slot, because I probably would have been much less positive about it. But for some reason, the third time I listened to it, everything just hit me much better. Whereas before, I think I was just bogged down by it not being as good as Pinata, to me.
I just never...
Then I took it for what it was, and it was pretty darn good. But anyway, back to you.
I think it really juggled me. I agree with you in that it's taken repeated listens to kind of get it a bit more. I've been bumping it pretty much every day the past week, along with Case Study 1 by Daniel Caesar. And it just gets better with repeated listens, which I can't say is the same for Pinata. I really haven't had the same reaction to it.
Okay.
Be that as it may. Perhaps having listened to this, I may feel differently about it, but there's not really many tracks on Pinata which stand out to me as much as tracks like Palmolive do, or Crime Pays do, or Giannis do. I think all of the features on this project are really, really great. I don't think there's a bad feature on it, and the features don't steal the show. They just emphasize. They all have their own unique flavors, and they just bring out. Somehow Gibbs and Madlib have brought out the best in these artists, like Killer Mike, like Pusha T, like Anderson .Paak. It's really great, I think. You know, what did you think of Palm, at least?
Well, I was gonna like when this album is good, like it still goes toe to toe with anything. Like Crime Pays is a really classy, regal track. We've already reviewed, but I still love it.
Yeah, me too.
Massage Seats as well, another fantastic instrumental, that vocal sample, and then Palmolive. That run on the tracklist in particular was amazing. The only thing I would say is that I would have liked a Killer Mike verse on this song.
Yeah, I know that, but I thought
because Freddie was great, like
Yeah.
the guitar and everything was great, and can we just say, this is the third week running we've had an amazing
Pusha T feature.
What the hell?
Yeah.
And he kicked his verse off with the line, "These scars are proof you can't kill gods." Like, what?
And he does this trademark, like, yeah, it's great.
As well as, like you mentioned, Giannis being amazing, Cataracts.
Honestly, like
Flat
Anderson .Paak is way cooler, suaver, harder than I've ever heard him before than on Giannis. I think he's at the top of his game there. And and I really appreciate how in the beats there is a mix of the traditional beats, and there are also these more eccentric and experimental beats. I think there's a nice balance between that. For instance, this run of Massage Sheets and then Situations, you know, it's really nice.
Yeah, fantastic moments, but I did also think the main thing for me, I actually would disagree with your remark about the features. I think that they were far better on Pinata. Likes of Danny Brown, Earl Sweatshirt, BJ the Chicago Kid, Scarface and Raekwon. Whereas I liked Anderson .Paak definitely and Pusha T.
Yeah.
I just thought overall they weren't as memorable or as impactful as those ones.
Maybe if I listen to Pinata again, I may see it. I haven't listened to it for a good while. It was just Palmolive really stood out to me, man. The hook from Killer Mike
fantastic song.
Great, yeah. And I just think that this project just has style and class in spades, and it proves that you can teach an old dog new tricks, and that these two are most certainly at the top of their game.
And they keep bringing the best out of each other.
Yeah, exactly. They should definitely I reckon there will be more collaborations in the future. The only person I think Old Sweatshirt could have worked on this project as well with some of the more experimental moments.
My final file would definitely be Half Main, Half Cocaine Part 2. It's the first half. It's massively full on trap beat. It's so really interesting.
Yeah. I think
but the second half, my God.
I feel that the project is better than Pinata in regards to the sense of momentum. I feel it just builds and builds and builds, whereas I found that at times Pinata could bog down. So definitely towards the end where there's that great run of tracks, namely Cataracts, which has this very like loud jazzy beat. It's very feel good. It's very like pristinely mixed. It has a better sense of momentum, I feel, and that's what really stands out to me. I like a good sense of momentum and speed to a project. I don't like it when it bogs down and it feels like a bit of a slog. Nav, you know what I mean?
I would actually argue this. For me, this certainly has tracks I just don't really feel that much, whereas Pinata doesn't.
Hmm. Fair enough. What do you think of
songs like "Goddamn,"
I like Goddamn.
"Situations," and "Fake
Yeah.
Names"? Just I didn't like them at all.
Fake Names has grown on me, and I feel that the beat switch in it is just godly. It's so good. The second half of it, or well, the latter portion of it after
I
that
don't know.
beat
It
switch.
just feels like
But even
not as good versions of songs he's done before.
I don't know. I feel that on the first half, like Gibbs is really lyrical. He's telling the story about these Mexican immigrants who are, pardon me, who are having to use these fake names, and it's just like I haven't heard him be quite so lyrical. I'm used to him just like being very loud and braggadocious, and then he has these hooks as he brings out like Triple Threat comes to mind, or Wait from the Freddie mixtape. And on Fake Names, it showed me a bit more of his versatility.
But again, we had that better on Practice, where he was first talking about how he cheated on his baby mama and that he was leaving her. And then the second one was about leaving the streets behind to become a rapper full time. That was a much better story track. And the same with Cataracts, for me at least.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, I'll give you that they may well be better. It's just that stood out. That was the first time the lyrical part of him, or that facet of his skill set, really stood out to me.
But I would, if from your perspective, I can see why you would prefer this, because for me, Pinata was more MaddGibbs' project. It was where he was the star. Whereas here, I think Freddie's definitely better, because there are actually some quite weak beats on here. Again, half main, half cocaine, first half. Situations, the beat just didn't stand out to me at all.
I didn't find it,
and a couple of the other ones. I mean,
but yeah, I definitely agree that Freddie is definitely the star here. Like case in point, Freestyle, that opening track, he just comes in hard. Like the beat's already started, but it's really like Freddie's the star here. I'm giving this project a 9. I really enjoyed it. What are you gonna give it? Like, and then I guess we'll go back in another episode and talk about Pinata potentially to see how that stacks up.
Well, he did say she snorts like the Snuffleupagus, and for that reason, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, it's still very high. It's still very high.
Yeah, look, this is still a fantastic hip hop album. But Pinata, for me, is one of the best things ever made of all time. So, I mean, that was always going to be hard to live up to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't fallen flat in its face or anything. So I think
No, it really hasn't. It's a stellar effort, and it just shows that Gibbs is just getting better. Like he can definitely one day he's gonna one up it. I'm telling you, man.
Because every time he locks in with a producer, he does really well.
Yeah.
Both the MaddGibbs ones.
Yeah.
Freddie, when he did most of it with Kenny Beats or Officer Beats, even.
Yeah.
The one with the Alchemist, Fetty, that we just talked about.
Yeah.
These are when he is at his best. He needs to just do this.
They're kind of more concept pieces, just him and that producer.
Just more consistent.
Definitely more consistent. But okay, let's move on to Case Study 1 by Daniel Caesar. Would you care to take the lead on here, Tom? You've listened to Caesar quite a bit more than I have.
Canadian R&B singer.
Yeah.
Daniel Caesar, second full-length album after 2017's Freudian.
Yes, which is very well received.
He's doing it for ugly people, Daniel Caesar.
Really?
Getting laid in spite.
Is that something he said?
Well, I mean, have you seen a picture of him, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Okay.
This is fresh off him being, and I'm using quote hands here, cancelled.
Okay.
For you know what Twitter cancel culture's like. It's basically non-existent.
Yeah.
It has no impact on anything.
No.
But he was like saying that black people should get over slavery and try and win, rather than just using it as an excuse.
Right. Okay. So it was causing a bit of a stir.
Yeah, but then that sort of died down, and then out of nowhere, this dropped, which was a nice surprise.
Yeah. And this.
And I'm pleased to say
Mm.
it's in a different direction, because I'm not sure I could have handled another 40 minutes of slow, sexy, slow jams, as good as Freudian was. Like,
I think
done
it was
that already.
Yeah, it was the slower pace of some of the tracks of Freudian that didn't really do it for me. On here, there's definitely a lot of beats are more it's more up tempo.
Like, don't get me wrong, best part and especially Got You will probably be bumped for forever. But
Mm.
I feel like a change was needed, and a change did come, just as
Mm.
Sam Cooke predicted.
Mm.
Now, on here, we have much faster tempo, much more vocal variety, and song topic variety, because it was quite one-themed Freudian, if we're being honest.
I feel that all of the tracks on here are kind of, at least the first half is all kind of in one. They seem to all be in one direction. It's all kind of him meditating on himself, his habits, love, what he wants from love, that kind of area. It's all
But that's the
definitely
sort
the
of
same thing.
R&B topics in general, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
But anyway, I knew we were in for something different right from the start with Entropy.
Yeah.
You had the weird sort of.
The
To
quote
me, it sounded a lot like all those liftoff sequences you hear.
It was I believe it's a quote from Oppenheimer, the guy who was really instrumental in the Manhattan Project, like creating the nuclear bomb, and he said, I am become death, destroyer of worlds, and it's a quote from some other scripture, but essentially entropy. I looked it up. It has it has a thermodynamic definition, but I found another definition which was it's a process of degradation essentially, or a trend of disorder, and essentially this track, it's the whole project seems to allude to this sort of unstoppable force of just degradation and things collapsing, and it's Caesar contemplating that and kind of structuring out his thoughts on it. It seems like he's thinking about past relationships when he's saying like, am I just a dog chasing a bone, or have I finally found a home? And then on there's a it's just this kind of reflecting on this inevitable entropy of relationships.
And this is one of two songs that he produced by himself.
All right, that's impressive. Because this is a real earworm. It's stuck in my head.
This is probably still my favourite song. I don't know whether it's just because of the impact it made on me and the fact that I knew we were going to get something different.
Yeah.
But for me, it started off the right way.
Oh, definitely. I can't think of Yeah, it's definitely a great way to start it.
I think we then didn't have any songs that I really liked until sort of the second half of the album.
Did you not like Frontal Lobe music?
Oh, I did love Frontal Lobe music.
Yeah. That's produced by Pharrell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Neptune, so Chad was there as well, but Pharrell gave us the hook. And this song again was something you didn't really get on Freudian. It was a sort of, he had a lot of swag on his voice, comparing himself from the past to now. And he actually called himself ugly in this one.
It's
saying I'm ugly, but I still hit from the back.
It's definitely it's a big highlight.
It's got the most bounce of all the.
Yeah, yeah. The bass has such good presence, and it has this infectious beat. It's a bit quirky in the instrumental, um, and with the melody, but yes, he's just so confident. His confident delivery is really what makes it. The project has, I'd say, a very profound sense of self. It knows what it wants to be, and it is that. These very smooth beats, particularly on Open Up and Cyanide. It's all, as I said, the as we discussed, the topic of the lyrics is all very similar, and it never really strays too far from that. It does have these more subdued, like almost these subdued not the numbers with acoustic guitars in them, but they're still in the same vein.
I felt like, given how popular they were, we were always going to get a few songs like "Love Again," "Open Up," and
I really liked
"Too Deep to Turn Back."
Yeah, I was a big fan of Open Up. I think that was the track that really kind of made me stay. It has this.
I just didn't like the hook on it. I don't know, like there's something weird with his
I love the
voice.
hook. I love the hook. I love how he croons it so softly, and I really like how it's this double entendre about opening up, like physically, sexually, and also emotionally after having opened up physically. It's talking about, can we just get the sex out of the way, and then you can start talking to me and we can get emotionally involved, because I really can't be bothered right now. I think that's very interesting. He's very vulnerable on it.
So Love Again was one that was very similar to the Freudian in the way that it had a female vocalist as the guest, like we had Caliucci's Her and Sid on Freudian. But this one, it definitely didn't really hold up for me. I like Brandy as much as an R&B legend. I'm sure she is. I don't know. I think her voice might have gone.
Really?
Don't say that too loud. But yeah.
No. Did you get Did this project remind you of James Blake at all? And
not overly, but I can see why it would.
Yeah, I really got. It reminded me of Assume Form. It made me want to listen to some of the other tracks from it. I think, yeah, I mean they're not too alike. This one is more hip hop oriented, whereas Assume Form it's kind of in its own kind of experimental niche. I definitely prefer like how the strength in Caesar's voice compared to how I realized in retrospect how kind of broken up James Blake's delivery is on a lot of that album.
I feel like that's part of his appeal, though.
That is, yeah, that is. It's but Daniel Caesar has this much more like his is a lot more consistent in his strength across. The production.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that the run between Restore the Feeling and all the way to the end, apart from Complexities, that was trash.
You didn't like Restore the Feeling?
No, I loved Restore the Feeling.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't like Complexities, but like Restore the Feeling to the end were like amazing songs.
Yeah. No, Restore. What stood out to me particularly about Restore the Feeling was that how it closed with this wonderful soulful a cappella part with all these multiple voices layering on top of each other and playing on top of each other. It was really, really something. It was.
I just loved how all over the place his voice was on the hook in particular.
Yeah, it's
and I thought the feature was a nice touch, and I mean it was just pretty perfect. Superposition had this awesome guitar from John Mayer.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were going to use John Mayer on it. I was very happy when it's great.
And there was like a nice little slow burner, isn't it, with a box office hook at the end.
What did you think of the saxophone at the end of Complexities?
I just thought Complexities was a mess.
Not even the sax at the end. It was such a perfect touch. Oh, I felt that must at least like raise it a bit, bring it out the dirt somewhat.
Nah, I think.
Okay, it's a lost cause.
Lose it, man.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Too Deep to Turn Back,
mm,
again, amazing.
mm,
The duetted hook with Ariana Reed was a much better use of the female vocalist.
yeah,
And him talking about sort of religion and his property, I thought that was all pretty damn great. And I also thought
it
it was
is pretty
interesting
damn
that
good.
he
Yeah,
was. It was sort of
suffice
all
to
about
say,
religion, and then the sort of hook was sort of implying some kind of proposal
okay, it's
with the whole "submit to me, get down on your knees, I'm your savior, and I'll give you everything that you need." Is that what a wife's meant to be?
yeah, it's generally on the whole an excellent R&B project, and it's really won me won me over. Caesar's obviously a very talented artist. It's I appreciate how he's kind of meditating on his own motivations. It's creative. It does feel intellectual in certain respects. It does feel above. It's getting at a sort of a different thing. It's more introspective, I feel, than a lot of R&B I've heard. And
Holy shit!
in that way, it is frontal lobe music. As a, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I think eight
As
to
am
nine.
I.
Yeah, is that the same as you?
Yes.
That's very good. Okay,
Because it's
and
very
now
good. Jesus Christ. Something keeps falling over in my room, sorry.
yeah.
Chaos is ensuing. Which I guess is a perfect way to move on to our final project of the day.
It's Blarf time. We're gonna talk about it, aren't we, Tom? We're gonna finally come in.
We had to.
What we've been waiting for. Well, we weren't. No one was waiting for this. This came out of nowhere. It
And
is.
it's on Stone Throw Records.
Well, it's not on Spotify, and it's.
No,
I'm pretty sure you can only
it's
access
free
it on
on
YouTube.
it's
It's
free on
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Yeah. It is Cease and Desist by Blarf.
Who may or may not be Eric Andre.
It's a character made up. Yeah, it's well, we don't know if it's Eric Andre. All we know is that Blarf is an enigma. It
Blarf is
stands
here.
for nothing, it seems.
Oh, I
Despising
thought it was an anagram
Gene
for a second.
Simmons. It despises, or they despise Gene Simmons. They, despite being enamored with Rupert Murdoch, whom they believe bathes in blood. The music ultimately reflects this nihilism, which is kind of at a core to the character of Blarf, wouldn't you say? With the mission statement
Definitely.
of the album being that it is unlistenable, and it feels like it's deliberately made to be so at times, with
And
the 10-minute song I Worship Satan.
13 minutes.
Oh, 13 minutes, yeah. The fact that
he said that the challenge is to listen for more than 6 minutes.
yeah.
But I find that quite easy. I thought it was about 8 minutes before I first checked the thing. Like, how much longer is this going on for?
I had to skip through I Worship Satan because it's just a hellscape.
Nah,
you know?
man, I've never skipped a second of this album. It's a classic.
I feel
This
like
makes T-Pab look like entry-level trash.
Oh,
You know what? Before we get into it, I was disappointed by his review of the album because I was expecting like Captain Beefheart levels of terrible, and like apart from I Worship Satan,
yeah,
and like
it's very
the 1
listenable.
minute and the 1 minute long songs, exactly, it is very listenable.
It's very listenable. It reminds me of Machine Girl quite a bit, especially the first parts where how choppy it is and
The opening track.
Yeah, the opening tracks. I just want to make a point that so the mission statement of it being unlistenable, it's meant to be this art piece. The fact that it is just thrown onto Bandcamp with no fanfare for free, just like a litter of puppies that you don't want. You know, you just want to get rid of it. Kind of just serves to support that kind of mission statement. You know, nothing is sacred on this. Not religion, with there's a skit which is like Jesus can't save his own ass, you know.
Yeah.
Rock royalty isn't, you know, with this distorted sample of Jimi Hendrix, and neither
Hip
is
hop
rap
isn't either.
royalty. No, I'm pretty sure Public Enemy is distorted and someone else.
Yeah, and there's that Hella Rhymes, which is literally just a Busta Rhymes verse with like this really awful instrumental in the background.
Yeah. And I really loved I think the real like the crowning glory of this project and everything
I
is
worship Satan.
no is after that it's Boom Bap, you know, which has it's
Oh,
just
that's
spooks
the-
Boom Bap, the whole thing with it has a Boom Bap beat, but it's fart noises and beatboxing, and then it's gibberish, and it's very glitchy, and there's these modern beats thrown in over the boom bap raps, and then the vocals are edited so this guy is like saying like is he saying like 999 over and over again? He's saying something just really stupid and just making the vocal sample sound really stupid over Latin jazz for no reason.
Yeah, and I
It's
liked
just-
especially like the Chuck D section where they just kept. That was sort of the one that they kept going for the longest, but then they would randomly chop it up so he would repeat the same thing over and over again.
It's
But the
it's,
bit of vocal chopping up that I disliked the most was after the sort of bomb explosion terror
Yeah.
noises of Worship Satan at the end. It was like
Yeah.
some weird movie thing, and they started off by letting it play, and then they
Yeah.
brought it back and sort of made it into these like grunting noises that made it sound like sex.
yeah.
And
then
it was
there's
just
also-
so uncomfortable. I just felt so uncomfortable listening.
Yes.
To it. Because I knew it wasn't what it was meant to be, and it was just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, but can we really have expected anything else from this deliberate sharp edge, you know, from anyone but Eric Andre and his cutting wit?
It's Blarf, it's not Eric Andre.
Well, Eric Andre appears to be the mind behind
The
Blarf.
head of the
He's
project.
one of the he's right away at the very top of this conspiracy. I love that skit from that stand-up. Was it from a stand-up piece where the guy's talking about why this guy likes George Bush
Oh
and
yeah.
the Bush administration? It's very funny.
I think the actual start of this, the first 3 songs, pretty darn good. We had
and the final 3 songs are pretty damn. Or the final
the best song name of all time. Badass bullshit Benjamin Button's Butthole Assassin.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah.
Which is like it has all these chopped up samples.
It just goes in so many different musical directions as well.
Like the actual start of it, I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
And then it had like the Let's Go.
Oh my
Mario.
God. Yeah. That reminded me of what are they called, the London-based kind of hip hop trip hop group. They did is it Flamingo? You know, what are they called? Kero Kero Bonito. That's what they reminded me of. Yeah. Yeah. This project seems to be like a bit of a so you have a smorgasbord of different musical genres. You know, you have rap.
I really hope no one
post-rock.
tries to sue them for sample clearance because they might be in a bit of trouble.
Definitely. But I mean, you have post-rock, grunge, jazz, rap. So you have this,
you know
like,
what? If someone
bounty.
says that they like every genre,
show them
this project is perfect to put that to the test.
Yeah. Because
we've also got
it has all these different genres. But imagine if you had this lovely banquet laid out of all these different genres, right? And then Blarf comes in with a machete and just hacks at everything, you know? And it just makes this mess.
Yeah, it brings
Then
all
you
your
have
favourite things to you in like the messiest way possible.
Definitely.
I think Save It Babe perhaps. Oh no, sorry, Banana does that the best in that it starts off with this really soulful
oh my God,
piece,
so
and then
tough.
suddenly halfway through it turns into this like electronic synth mess.
I have no idea.
It is like the least clean beat switch I've ever heard of my life.
Yeah. Deliberately abrasive, deliberately terrible. There's this part at the end of one of the tracks. I've forgotten what it's called, but it just closes with a man crying. You
Also, I
know,
also noticed that in every song there was a burp at some point.
I did not notice that.
And on Save It Babe, I love the Lil Wayne interview snippet where he was just saying, if you need advice on how to live your life, then you shouldn't have been born. And then
Oh,
straight in cuts this really messy instrumental. I mean, this is a masterpiece. Blarf, please
Yeah.
drop the physicals.
Yeah, I want a vinyl. It's irreverent, it's avant-garde, it's
And
current.
if nothing else, the artwork is freaking amazing of the sort of Ronald McDonald character
Yeah,
smoking with a
current
gun to his head
Yeah.
just outside of McDonald's.
Yeah. It's Blarf. And I'm giving it a meme out of 10.
It's a
Okay?
10 out of 10.
It's a meme out of 10. Okay. And now onto the single.
Is it over or underrated?
I think it's just gonna be underrated. I think everyone's just gonna write it off, and there's actually like, I think there is some depth to it. It does deserve to be listened to. You know, it's a
How many
genuine.
times have you listened to it?
Like 3 times.
Oh, I've only listened to it twice there.
Yeah. All right. No, let's move on. Bluff's gonna hijack the entire podcast.
So it should. It's a once in a lifetime release.
My God.
Oh, did
phone
you see
numbers.
Pitchfork gave they re-reviewed Captain Beefheart and gave it a 10.
They're just trying. That's stupid. No one listens to Pitchfork anyway. Who the hell actually trusts them? They're just trying to do that to appease fanboys. Anyway, that's what I think anyway. But phone numbers. Dominic Fike, co-produced by Officer Beats himself. I guess he got some time off, a day off from working, and he was allowed to produce this. You know, when he's not catching criminals and locking them up, as he does. I mean,
I can't believe he put his tag on a pop song.
I was very happy he did. I had no idea what the hell to expect.
Have you never heard Dominic Fike before?
No, and I didn't.
If he's not of Brockhampton fame, he's certainly got their cosign.
Right.
Like he's been hanging out with them a lot.
I mean, I never like thought Kenny would drop a Poppy track.
Well, actually, funnily enough, he was doing a Q&A on his Instagram Live a couple months ago, and I asked, have you got any new shit coming out? And he answered my question saying, I've got some non-hip-hop stuff coming out, and it's pretty dope. And I think that was in reference to this.
That is awesome! That is so cool! You spoke to Officer Beats himself.
No, he just he answered my question. Like he got the question up. Okay. I didn't ask it to him.
I know, but still, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. I think Kenny Beats is one of the people that he genuinely cares about the music. Like I'm sure everyone's heard before that he won't work with someone if you don't go in the studio with him. Right. That's why he always has pictures of studio sessions whenever he's worked with anyone.
That's cool. That's very cool. I like how
I mean
integrity.
I love the way that this song is still like all Kenny Beats. Like I made a playlist of my favorite Kenny Beats songs.
Yeah.
And it's so short because every track's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And this is no different.
No.
I mean, the hook is killer.
Mm-hmm.
The verses are great, especially the second one. That really brings it home.
Yeah, the second one is better. It's the lightest and most poppy beat I've ever heard him use. And I never thought he could do something so light and summery and playful. There's this lovely jazz guitar and electronic percussion. It's pretty great, you know?
And I still can't believe he put his tag on it, man.
I'm very happy he did. Very happy he did.
I mean, I am as well, but it's also kind of ridiculous.
But as soon as I hear that, Kenny, I know I'm in for a treat. He seems like such a genuine guy, you know?
Yeah. When
you watch him in interviews. And it's so cool. It's so cool, honestly. But okay, that wraps up the week. I've been Tim.
I've been Tom.
And you've listened to the Tinton podcast. We do hope you've enjoyed.
And now you need to listen to Blarf.
If you don't listen to Blarf, I will have strong words for you.
Link in the description.
Good night.